Hi! In this short video we're going to give you some invaluable hints and tips about MSC's World Europa, the first of 4 in its World Class series of vessels aiming to compete with Royal Caribbean Oasis Class ships.
Now MSC and this ship doesn't always get a smooth ride on cruise ship reviews. We'll tell you why we disagree with some of the more critical reviews. However, as well as showing you its many good points, we've also got some honest truths to tell you about elements of this ship which we think you need to know.
Now this short video is a prelude to a longer and more in-depth guide and review of the ship. This would be a great point to subscribe so that you are notified when that video is released.
Now at the heart of this ship is the World Galleria, which is the equivalent of the Royal Promenade on an Oasis class ship. It's a fantastic space with an LED screen ceiling and covering 3 decks, with the upper 2, decks 7 and 8, splitting to offer views out over the lower deck 6.
This whole area is home to numerous bars, speciality restaurants and shops, as well as guest services and the shore excursions desk.
Either side on deck 8 are some nice outside deck areas, one of which is outside one of the standout venues on this ship, the tea house, where for a fee you can get freshly brewed tea as well as an afternoon tea for the bargain price of just €10.
Not to be missed, and there's a brilliant pianist playing too.
At the back of deck 8 is the World Promenade, which, just like the boardwalk on Royal Caribbean, is a partially covered area featuring bars, restaurants and, on World Europa, the excellent Coffee Emporium. This area has a magical light show a couple of times after dark each evening.
Now the main pool and outside areas are on decks 18 to 21. La Plage is the large main pool area which leads into an inside pool with retractable roof. We counted at least 10 hot tubs dotted around, including one on deck 21, which is a nice sunbathing area on the highest accessible deck.
The kids facilities are mostly on deck 20 and include the usual kids clubs and arcades, as well as water and dry slides, all of which are highly rated by fellow guests with children.
We liked the Zen pool areas at the back of deck 18, which was supposed to be adult only, and then above it on deck 19 was a nice open rear terrace with tables for eating from the buffet. I always like eating outside.
The gym on deck 20 is well appointed and of a good size for the 6,000 plus guests who regularly inhabit this ship.
The spa and treatments are down on deck 8 at the front, as well as offering a wide range of treatments with discounts on port days. The area also includes the excellent Aurea spa, which we'd rate as one of the best at sea. It really was.
Entertainment and activities on this ship are some of the best we've seen. There was always something going on, and the theatre in the evenings hosted 4 production shows, 2 excellent solo artists and a magician on our 7 nights aboard.
Now the standard in the theatre was about average, some shows better than others, but in our view the Panorama lounge at the back of deck 8 was superb. Here there were almost nightly shows by a different and very talented singer-dancing cast. And then this was followed at around 11 PM most nights to some amazing parties hosted by the activities team and an absolutely fabulous live band.
There were also regular dance, aerobic and stretch classes offered for free around the pool, in the popular Dolce Vita bar and in the Luna Arena. This area, accessed via deck 6, was actually used mostly for entertainment for younger guests during our cruise, although it's not strictly badged as that.
Let's talk about food now. Here things were not quite to the standard set by the rest of the ship. On the positive side, the main dining rooms did a decent, if not spectacular job. Service was good, the food well presented, but perhaps lacking some of the quality and flavour which Royal Caribbean achieves in its iconic main dining rooms.
Now there are 5 main dining rooms, 4 at the back on decks 5 and 6 and 1 for suite guests on deck 8. There are 6 speciality venues on this ship which require an additional fee or to be bought as part of a package.
Now we brought the 4 dining rooms package. And we found the Mexican, teppanyaki and the garden kitchen all set a good high standard and recommend. But we were disappointed overall with the highly popular Butcher's Cut steak restaurant. We felt they failed to match Royal Caribbean's Chops Grill for service or food quality.
So where in our view this ship really lets itself down is in the buffet, of which there are two similar ones on decks 18 and 19. On the positive side, we liked the seating layout and service. Tables were cleared and cleaned quickly, and there was usually plenty of choice of places to sit.
The problem here is the quality and variety of the food. It lacked flavour, was repetitive, and set out in a really bizarre fashion that meant that you had to transit the whole length of the buffet to get all the ingredients for a salad.
Now there is a further free buffet style outlet down on deck 6 in the pizza and burger area. Here things I'm afraid were no better. For an Italian cruise the pizza was not great, nor were the burgers from the servery on the other side.
Free drinks were few and far between, with tea, coffee and water stations in the buffet and pizza venues. Free juice only with breakfast, no other times of the day.
Now if you don't have a drinks package, then you'll find prices on this ship to be more reasonable than those on Royal Caribbean, with draft beer and basic cocktails from €7. All drinks are subject to a 15% gratuity charge.
On the plus side, we thought the drinks packages, especially if bought with a pre-embarkation discount, were good value compared to other cruise lines. But you need to research carefully to be sure that your favourite drinks are covered by one of the 3 alcoholic packages or 1 non-alcoholic package available.
Staterooms on this ship are slightly larger than the Oasis Class equivalent in our experience and adequately appointed. You need to be aware that the supplied gels and shampoos are very basic, there's limited storage, the shower lacks power, and that you will only get 1 stateroom attendant visit per day in standard cabins. The latter is consistent with Royal Caribbean.
MSC is different in some respects to other mainstream cruise lines, and if you are new to them, then here are some of the key differences which we identified.
So on the plus side, tipping is included in your cruise fare. This saves in the region of €15 to €18 per person per day. Some reviews have been negative about the service on this ship, but our experience was that it was generally friendly, efficient and quick.
MSC ships allow embarkation and disembarkation on their European cruises at multiple port stops. This throws up the possibility of shopping around for the cheapest embarkation port for you. Whilst on your cruise, it also means that there are more multi-language welcome announcements around the ship and in the theatre. These announcements in up to 5 languages have been subject to criticism. In the theatre, they were a source of minor frustration, but overall we didn't find it to be a major issue.
In Europe, these ships attract multiple nationalities, generations, languages and cultures. Being family orientated, there are lots of kids on board, especially in school holidays. This leads to a unique atmosphere which is slightly different to that on US-based cruise ships. Expect them to be quite lively even later in the evening.
They are a lot of fun. We noticed that demand for breakfast and lunch in the main dining room was higher than we've seen on other ships. We found this to be a positive thing because it meant that the crew were geared up for it and offered quick and efficient service, and it was really quite good.
MSC does not offer tap water in their restaurants, even though it is safe to drink and served in the buffet and the gym. Bottled water is available at €7 a go if you are not on a package, but we were given it for free in the main dining room. We have no idea why, but were charged in the speciality restaurants. Some will find this thinly disguised money-making scheme a minor frustration.
Everyone in MSC is allocated to one of 4 experiences depending upon how much they've paid and which cabin they are in. The experience levels range from the basic Bella through Fantastica, Aurea to the Yacht Club. Our main video will cover this in more detail, but rather like the drinks packages, it adds layers of complications which take some unravelling to ensure you are selecting the one which gives you the best value.
Given some reviews, we had reservations about this ship, but overall we really enjoyed our time on MSC World Europa and look forward to sailing on this class of ship again.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, if this has been helpful, please like it and consider subscribing. Unlike MSC's water, both are free.